Okay, so here we are building a fence, and I'll show you a little bit about the structure and the tools you need and how to put it together. How to build a fence. So first of all, we'll talk a little bit about structure, and to do that I'm going to show you this corner here. We use a 4x4 post. I'll pull that away so you can see it. In cement on the ground. Now, if you're using a fence section, you have to decide what section you're going to use and make those posts 8 feet apart. A standard 2x4 8 foot is usually 8 feet 1/4 inch. So if you set your posts 8 feet 1/4 inch apart and cement them in that way, it's quite difficult. But if you put your rails in at the same time and then cement your post later, it's a little easier. When you're using pickets like this, it's not quite so important to be exactly 8 feet, but when you use pre-made sections, then you'll have to kind of put them all in at once. At least that's how I do it. Now this is a very sturdy fence because it's got a top rail, which is this piece, and then an under support that makes a very nice, what they call a strongback. When you put two together like this, it becomes a strongback. And the bottom rail is also up and down. You can see when you fasten the picket to that, it has to actually bend 7 inches of 2x4. Also, if you make sure you get your crowns, which is the slope of your wood, pointing up, it gives it even more support because the lumber is more structurally favorable to the crown part. Now, when you're doing a fence like this, it's wise to keep it slightly, maybe a little bit off level is fine, but if you make it a great deal off level, then your fence boards will end up looking like that if you're off level. So, and you'll have to cut every one. So it's often better rather than do that, is to step your fence down so you can keep the top rail as close to level. In this case, we didn't have to do that because the lot is very level. But as you step it down, then you can use your fence board, and it automatically stays square to the top. What I do is I shoot those on with 16 gauge galvanized pins. And in a real windy area, then I'll screw everything together after that. But it's nice to use pins to start with because if you need to take anything apart, it's easy. And on top of these little sections, I've left them sit up a little bit so I can put a post cap on that to seal the water from coming in here. It's more than decorative. Also, make sure you get a coat of paint on that or something. So I like to put stain on if you cut it, so that the water doesn't have a chance to soak into it. Even if it's treated wood, when you cut it, it's not so treated in the middle, it's only treated around the outside. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you? I guess not much. After that little bit of education, you should be ready to go out and support your local lumberyard. Try and stay local if you can. Nothing against multinationals, but if you've got a local lumberyard that does their best to bring everything in, then maybe it's wise to support them. At least that's what I try and do. I buy my share from every lumberyard, so I guess nobody goes out of business with me, but I try and support local when I can. Alright, that's the fence. It's very nice. I put them right together because these are very wet cedar pickets and they will shrink. Also, if you get them exactly 8 1/4, 8 foot 1/4 inch apart, you should usually end up with 17 1x6 cedar or otherwise pickets, and you may not even have to cut the last one in every panel. Well, happy fencing. Thank you.